going to talk about how to play 3-on-2 situations.
3-on-2 break.
The defense is on its way down.
When they are at their best, they've got numbers.
You've got to take advantage of the fact that you have one additional offensive player.
Oh, beautiful pass! Now that's excellent team basketball.
So see what's in front of you, make the play quickly, and make up your mind that you're going to score. Today we're at the Mather High School in Hyattsville, Maryland, the home of one of the great high school basketball teams in the nation. Here we have George Lehman, who really can make this thing talk. What is this thing?
Red, a tossback's a training device that allows players to reproduce game conditions for passing, rebounding, and shooting. Again, repetition is becoming a big part of basketball, and we can repeat a lot of things.
You know, George, I've never been one for any kind of device at all. I've kind of fallen in love with this a little bit based on some of the things you've shown me. Now, I want you to show the people out there some of the things that this thing can be used to help players play the game.
All right, let's teach a player to react to the ball and keep his feet moving for defense. Go down to defense, keep the head still. Move them feet to be a better player.
Watch the feet, watch the feet.
I want to move my feet.
Speed, speed, speed.
Speed, head
All right, George, hold it up. George, I know that kind of wore you out a little bit with that drill involving the feet. But what about the hands? Show me one with the hands.
Red, if a player can't catch the ball, he can't play. Here's a drill to develop the hands.
Now, that drill is good. Of course, you could use another man, except the ball comes back a great deal faster with the use of the tossback. Is that right, George?
It's important that the big men catch the ball, also guards. Now, here's a guard. I'm going to show you a couple drills to improve his hands.
All right, watch this now. This is very, very good. Watch this very closely. Two balls, two balls. Look at him moving. Yeah. All right, now watch it now. Now watch it behind his back. Watch it behind his back. Just a little dexterity, just to have some fun. It's really good, except we just demonstrated a behind-the-back drill with the use of the toss back, showing how quick this thing goes and you get your rhythm. What about the shooting?
Let's practice shooting off the pass.
All right, watch this. Right off the pass, the shot, as he catches it, he shoots it. He does not bring it down. Very, very good. It's a very good move. The machine helps because you can set it in any way where he's going to catch the ball and shoot it. All right, George. All right, that's enough. You might miss one. George, you demonstrated shooting. I like it. Now, you got two tossbacks. You're going to demonstrating how one guy can use both of the tossbacks to develop his reaction, his passing, his spinning, and his balance. Show us that.
Big man, foot quickness, keeping the ball high.
The ball is high. The ball is high. The ball is high. Watch it. That's the best way to feed the pivot. All right, hold it before you knock me out. All right, George. I like that. That's good for development and so forth. But this next thing you're going to demonstrate, I really like. Because the Celtics over the years, playing the fast break, predicated on rebound, here you can use the toss back to develop your rebounding and your outlet pass all in one drill and all by yourself. Show me that.
Let's demonstrate both of them. Hands again over the head. We're after
There's
the
the
ball.
rebound. Offensive rebound. Offensive rebound.
Now I go for the outlet now. I'm going to go out. Hands again.
Outlet pass. Uses another machine. Just
Hands
that he
again over
keeps
the head.
moving. You notice how great this is for conditioning? Continuous movement. Continuous movement. Fellas can develop their own little tricks. All right, a rebound. Attaboy. George, I like that very much because, as I said, it predicated the fast break based on the rebound. And here's something you can do all by yourself. Now, on the other end of this fast break, you've got to catch the ball while moving. Now, can you use the toss back for that?
Here's a great lob drill so the player can learn to get on balance and catch the ball.
Show it to him. Look at that. Catching it right over the shoulder. moving and getting the layup. Look at that play. All right, hold it up, hold it up. Come here, George. Well, here we have the toss back. I just want to say that in my day of coaching, we didn't use very many mechanical devices, but progress. Now, I see that this thing has tremendous value, and I want to thank George Lehman for his great skill in showing everybody how great this thing is. Thank you very much, George. Appreciate it.
For the last 3 years, all of us have enjoyed sharing the basketball insights of Red Auэрbach. But, you know, a large part of enjoying a friendship with Red really is hearing the marvelous anecdotes that he's stored up over the years. And, Red, so many basketball fans ask me, how come the cigar symbol? How did it ever get started with Red?
Well, it started as a note of defiance. You see, when Maurice Polaroff was commissioner of the league, every time I got thrown out of a ball game, I didn't get the $50 fine that everybody else got. I got $250. That's what it was. Extraordinary action beyond the normal reaction of getting thrown out. Well, it was my personality, and that's what happened. So I figured out, how can I get back at him? So one day I got the idea I'm going to smoke a cigar on the bench. So after we had the ball game locked up, I made a big to-do, you know, lighting the cigar, putting my feet up and saying, the game is over, just let's have some fun. So sure enough, I got the reaction from the league, you can't smoke cigars on the bench. So in my own inimitable way, I called him up and I said, you have fellas like Joe Lapchick and some of the others smoking on the bench. They were smoking cigarettes. I said, this is no airplane. I said, if they could smoke cigarettes, I could smoke a cigar. And I just defied them, and I did it. And the funny part about it, right after I retired, the Boston Garden put a law in here, no smoking in the building. So I got out in time.
How many times did you get technicals or get tossed out of a game just to inspire the Celtics, just to stir them up a bit?
Well, I was so smart that I got fined $17,000 in 20 years. I couldn't have been that clever in picking my spots. But I figure, you know, you win a few, you lose a few. So I would gamble. But a technical foul can be a calculated thing if it's done right. You got to be a master at it. You got to know when to get the referees, how much you can get away with.
Al McGuire, he did that.
Well, Al did that, sure. It was like a page out of the book, so to speak. Well, anyway, a lot of times we start a ball game, and the team is flat. Nothing's happening. I make one substitution, 2, 3, 5, everything moving. Next thing I know, we're in the early part of the third quarter, and nothing's going. And we're about 14, 15 down. I say to myself, Red, it's time to go. There's no way they're going to win this game with you here. So what I did, I started on the referee. He'd come down the court, and I'd say, how could you possibly work this game? You couldn't work a high school game. As a matter of fact, I don't think they'd keep you in high school. That's how bad you are. You blow. He wasn't doing anything different. He was just saying, well, but I had to. And finally, he could take this jockey no more, and he says, technical foul. I said, did I cuss you? He says, sit down. I figured, that's not the time to get tossed, see? I got to wait for another one, see? So I wait till he comes down again about 30, 40 seconds later. He says, come to think of it, you know you got rabbit ears, and you're not hustling. And they hate to hear the thing when you tell them they're not hustling. So he looks at me and stares at me, and I said, that's typical. You're looking at me, and the game is out there. I said, how can you work the game? You're looking at me. You don't know what the heck you're doing. And he says, that's enough, technical foul, you're out. So now I figure, for the same money, I might as well have my say. So I take after him. What do you mean? I didn't cuss him. And Russell would always grab me and pick me up. And I'd look up at him. I said, damn you, put me down. And then Cousy would stand in front of me. He was afraid I was going to hit the referee and all that kind of stuff. So what would happen I was working on a crowd. See, all this time I was working on a crowd and also working on my ball club. They just weren't, they weren't doing it. So I'm getting them now, they're mad. Picking on poor little Red. Picking on poor little Red. So they throw me out, I go in the dressing room. I swear to you, at least 80-85% of those games we'd win. Now, I never deluded myself. I never felt, hey, they wanted for good old Red and dear old Red. Heck, they wanted to show they could win it without me.
Red, thank you very much. I tell you, I could listen to Red Auerbach stories all day long, but we have run out of time with Red on Roundball.
Everybody stay with their own man. If they come off a screen, switch it, and somebody get the man who sets the screen and go through. Now, on Chenier, when the ball comes in, especially on Porter, everybody can't converge on him because he dumps the ball out. If he makes a jump shot, let him beat us with it. Now, let's go. Come on.
That was Al Attles, the coach of the Golden State Warriors, and tonight's subject of Red Auerbach on Roundball. Red has been exploring all the players, but now he turns his attention to the man who did such a tremendous job in this championship series a year ago against the Washington Bullets. You probably remember some of this action from late in Game 2. The Warriors were able to pull out a victory, take a 2-game lead, and then they went on to a series sweep. And the man responsible for designing that championship was Al Attles. He used his bench. He did a lot of different things, and Red talks to him about it.
Times change. You got different kids today. They've got no-cut contracts. They got long contracts. Now, how do you keep up this intensity? You won a championship last year. How do you motivate them and keep up this intensity?
Well, first of all, I think one of the prime jobs of any coach, at least as far as I'm concerned, is to build confidence in your ball players. And I think the only way that you can do this is you have to emphasize this intensity. You have to emphasize it 100% all the time. You have to let players know that, and all you want them to do is reach their fullest potential, whatever it might be. And the way we try to do it at Golden State is we constantly are talking to the players. We're showing them, mistakes that they're making. Obviously, I do not try to go back and say when I played, because I don't think that players want to hear that. Today's players, I feel they're much better than we were when I played. I was very fortunate to be in the league, and I think we have great players who want direction. And what I try to do is take the coaches that I've had a lot of confidence in, and try to use some of their tactics.
Now, you got a reputation of using 12-man or 11-man or everybody you got. Now, how do you feel about that?
I feel that if you ask a player to come in a crucial situation and expect some performance from him, you have to try to give him some work during the season. So this is what we try to do. I want the players, if they're playing 1 minute or 48 minutes, to play as hard as they possibly can play.
It all boils down to one thing. Every game is a separate entity.
Exactly.
Now, if that game would take 6 men or 12 men, that's what you've got to do.
Exactly.
You've got to win that ball game, and don't worry about peaking too soon or running out of gas and all that nonsense.
Well, someone asked me not too long ago, was I concerned about the Warriors peaking too soon? I said, well, if you could tell me how to prevent a team from peaking, then let me know. I think what he was saying is that you're holding the reins on them and you're really not letting them play as well as they can play. Well, I say go out and play as well as you can play, and let's be concerned about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. Right now, we're concerned about what's happening today. And let's not concern ourselves with things so far down the road, because we may never get there.
That's right. You've got to get there first.
Exactly.
Worry later. That's
Exactly.
always been my theory. I used to have a cliche. I coach, you play. Went in, didn't it? That's where it's at. That's the most important part of the game, is putting that ball in a hole. That's where you win. Now, we had Larry Bird here, the Boston Celtics, one of the premier shooters in the history of the game. Guarding him, one of the premier guards of the Boston Celtics, Dennis Johnson. Now, Larry, you took that shot on the move. As you're taking the shot, what do you think about? What do you do?
Well, there's two things. One is get the feel of the ball, and the most important thing is get your eyes focused on the rim.
So he talks about getting your eyes focused. I talk about getting your head up. It's the same thing. See, in other words, if you have to jerk your head up to do it, do it. because he has great peripheral vision. He can stand there like that and see the basket. It's so important. Now also, Larry, what about the backspin, the seams? You think about all of that as you're catching the ball.
Yeah, right when I get the ball, first thing I do is get the feel of the ball, get my feet adjusted to the rim, square up, and get my eyes focused on the rim before I release the ball.
All right, take another one. Notice the follow through, the hands, the concentration. Oh, now we're going to have two guys to give him a little help. We're going to have Robert Parrish of the Boston Celtics set a pick on Dennis Johnson. Ralph Sampson of the Houston Rockets will switch on a play. But watch Larry Bird make the play quickly. Watch his head and watch his hands. All right, let's go. The most important thing in shooting is that the head must come up before the ball is released. All right, do it again. All right, let's see some action. Perfect. Perfect. One thing you got to notice, when a great shooter catches the ball, he tries to catch it here. He doesn't want to catch it here because he's got 2 feet for the ball to come up. So he tries to catch it here. This time, take the shot and go around. All right, let's go. Oh, we talked about that. See, when the ball is here, Ralph Sampson knew that he was going to shoot the ball. So I whispered to Larry, I said, fake the shot and go around him. But remember, have the ball up here, the position of the head, the seams, the backspin. That is where it's at to shoot that ball to win. Hold it. All right, over here. Now we have Rick Barry, the great forward from the Golden State Warriors, guarded by Jamal Wilkes, another great all-star from the Golden State Warriors. Now, Rick, you've just been fouled. Now, what do you do?
Well, Red, the first thing I try to do is get a good, comfortable position with my feet spread and try to get as relaxed as possible. I think that's the big key to shooting free throws, so that you feel completely relaxed. And, of course, with my two-handed, underhanded free throw, it's a lot easier, I feel, to get in a relaxed situation. I like to bounce the ball 3 times, get in that relaxed position.
Wait a minute. Why 3 times, not 2, not 4?
Well, I just got in the habit of doing it 3 times, and I just do it the same way. I hold the ball in exactly the same position on the ball every time, and I think that repetition in this game is really the key to success.
Is it repetition or superstition?
I think it's repetition.
Okay,
it's the same way, time after time after time, so that it becomes something that just gets embedded in your mind. So I think the 3 bounces, arms hang down, my knees are bent, I'm relaxed, cock the wrists, follow through.
All right, now that, as we all know, is a very, very unique style. This is the way free throws were shot 40 years ago. That was the only way it was shot. And here's a guy, one of the great players of the game, the greatest free throw shooter in the game, shooting as they did 40 years ago. Why so much backspin?
Well, it's just a natural follow-through. Just before I shoot the ball, if you'll notice, I make an exaggerated cock of the wrist to point my thumbs down towards the ground. I bend down, and I start to go up towards the basket with my arms going through. And when I get near the top, the wrists come uncocked, and that's what gives it the follow-through. All right, now, when you get that spin, we all know that if you have a backspin and you hit the rim, it can slop around, and you got a better chance of it going in than if you shot a flat ball. Exactly. By shooting it underhand, it's a much softer touch shot, and with 2 hands directing the flight of the ball, I think I have a much more opportunity to shoot the ball accurately. Greg, let me ask you a question. Would you recommend that shot to fans if they were going to start with the game present day? Well, I recommend the way that you can make the most shots at it. That's the answer. And that's really the answer to it. The way you feel most comfortable and you have the most confidence. And confidence is a big thing as far as shooting free throws. And so from this position, I just feel extremely relaxed, and I just have a lot of confidence that I never have to worry about tightening up or choking, as they say. Now, we have Jamal Wilkes here. We have 2 different ways of shooting the basketball. Make believe you got a free throw. Let me see you shoot the free throw. What's the difference in style?
Boy, I tell you, he compensates real good. But if I had to ever teach his way, I'd die a horrible death. Form-wise, a coach can get sick watching this kind of release. Is there a right way? I say no. I agree with Rick. Whether you shoot the way Jamal Wilkes shoots or the way Rick Barry shoots, or whether you shoot overhand or one hand. The answer is do what is best for you. Do it the way that you can make it. That's the name of the game. Relax, follow through, but make it. Very good. Have here Larry Bird. Everybody knows who he is. The Boston Celtics. Retrieving the ball. Dennis Johnson, the premier guard of the Celtics. Now, Larry, you're shooting a free throw. You got to know that a free throw is a free throw. Nobody will bother you. You got all the time. So when you got this time, Larry, to shoot the ball, what goes through your mind?
Well, the first thing is to get my eyes focused on the front of the rim. The second thing is to get in the position where I feel most comfortable at. And the third thing is to get my hands situated on the ball, which feels best to me. And usually I use the seams as a guide. The fourth thing is I just get my feet set, get down in the position, follow through with my arm, go up with the shot.
All right, now you notice how he mentioned it, the seams. See, this ball differs from a college basketball because the seams are a little wider. Does that help you?
It does in my feel of the ball and getting it situated in my hands a lot better.
You notice how Larry said that his knees are bent and then he goes up. He doesn't go through both motions of down and then up. He's already down when he shoots it. Now, the most important thing in shooting a shot of any kind, especially a free throw, he mentioned it, that these things don't come by accident. Your eye on the basket, the position of the head. Now, Larry, you always grab the seams. If I throw you the ball, automatically he will touch the seams and get it and get a backspin. Now, watch it. Automatically, quickly. Very good. One more time. Watch it. This is what we're talking about. The seams. All right, now, why do you have the backspin? Why do people shoot that ball like that? Great shooters.
Well, because you want the ball, if it hits the rim, to die. You got the backspin on it, you can get it up there, and if you hit the rim, it usually just dies right there and bounces around, and you get a better roll out of it.
That's why a lot of great shooters hit the rim, it rolls around, fools around, and it drops in. But that's the reason why it happens. Now, you notice what he said? Follow through, concentration, position of the head. That's all the most important things. And remember, the most important thing of all on a free throw or a foul shot, whatever you want to call it, it's that it's free. Nobody is bothering you. You got all the time in the world to stand there and let these things go through your mind and get it done. Oh. All right, hold it up. There you saw the highest percentage shot in basketball if you're careful. You got the guy that made the dunk famous, Dr. J, Julius Erving. Next to him, you got Moses Malone. He does it a different way. Two hands with power. Then you had Clement Johnson, his backup. Good control. He don't blow it. Sam Williams, he could jump 9 miles. All of these players from the 76ers, they got big hands. Do that again real quick. Watch him again. Watch how high he gets. Easy. Two hands, control. Two hands, power. One hand, swinging. All right, now, Julius, as I said, you're the master of the dunk. What made you start dunking the ball?
I think the first thing, Red, is just being blessed with big hands. That has a lot to do with it, big hands and big feet. And I guess during my college days, we weren't allowed to dunk, so once I got to the pros, it was sort of like just breaking loose. And when I'm attacking the basket and nobody's there, you know, that's when you get a chance to exhibit the skills that you worked on for a lot of years. If somebody's there, then you got to do it a little bit differently, and your options become a little more limited, I think.
All right, now let's demonstrate that. Now, you guard him, and you try to stop the shot. Now, watch this closely.
This is a friendly dunk, of course.
Yeah. Now, you see, if he shot the ball, that shot might have been blocked. But like he said, with his big, strong hands, he went and boom. There's no way to stop it. Do it one more time. Notice how he protected it with his body. All right, now, what do you advise young people relative to dunking the ball?
Well, I think relative to dunking the ball, first you have to develop your jumping ability so that you can get, you know, at least this much of your hand above the rim. Some guys can get away with just getting their fingertips above the rim, and then they do more of a timing dunk. That's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to dunk over anybody with that dunk. But if you can jump and get your wrist above the rim or middle of your forearm or your elbow or what have you, then you should be able to dunk the ball anyway, anytime.
What about the crowd? Doesn't it help you?
Well, I think there are times when a spectacular dunk play really gets the crowd going, gets your team going, but that's not something that you can plan on. I think, you know, when you're playing the game of basketball, you got to be result-orientated. You got to think about getting the result. The result of attacking the basket is get 2 points. That it has an effect on people, that's wonderful. You know, that might get you, you know, more fans, might get you a bigger contract or what have you, but that can't be your primary consideration. The result first, and then the effect is secondary.
There it is. There it is, from the master of the dunk. To me, the greatest. Made it popular, and he made it productive. Productive. That's where it's at. You're looking at Pistol Pete Maravich, in my opinion, the greatest playmaker playing today. A great passer, great shooter, but a lot of people don't know this. He is wonderful in all these dexterity drills. Now, Pete, when did you start all this?
It comes out of a system I started around 6 or 7 years of age, what we call homework basketball, and it takes in reaction drills, quickness drills to improve your quickness, your coordination, your confidence, and your overall ability to handle a basketball.
Well, actually, don't you get the feeling that when you're doing these things, the ball becomes sort of an extension of your hand?
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt when I was growing up. I dribbled so much, so many different ways, learning new types of drills to dribble with one ball, with two balls, and so forth, that I never really had to look at the basketball when I dribbled it, which improved my game from a great standpoint.
See, there are a lot of coaches that advocate this, but they don't do it with any application to the game itself. Now, you'd be amazed at some of the things that Pete will demonstrate to you. Pete, how about showing us a few of them?
Okay, number one, I did this for quickness, just to improve my quickness, is what I call a ricochet drill. You stand with your feet apart and you just throw the ball down, back and forth like this. This is really just for coordination purposes. And then once you get into what I call the bullet ricochet, where you try to throw the ball very hard. And catch it behind. That's one.
Beautiful.
Another one, a very good quickness drill that I haven't really done that much, Coach, except in the summertime, but the object is to put the ball behind your knees. The object of this drill is to clap your hands in front and catch the ball before it hits the ground. It requires a lot of mental concentration, and I don't even know if I'll be able to get it, but I'll try.
Well, he tried pretty good, didn't he? How about a couple more, Pete?
Well, I can take two balls and show a short drill, which is just a short figure-8 drill using 2 basketballs, what we call in rhythm and out of rhythm, and then going around. This really increases your ability to handle a basketball.
Now, when you see a loose ball, and that ball is a couple inches from the ground, don't you feel real superior to the next guy knowing that you could start a dribble from that low position?
Exactly. One of the best moves I have, particularly as an individual, is putting the ball out in front of somebody, and as they go for it, do what I call a stutter dribble, back over like that.
Try that again. If I'm guarding you.
You got your hand there.
Okay.
Good thing.
If I'm guarding him, I have a feeling that I might be able to get that ball. But through all this dexterity practice, he knows that he could beat my reaction and go by me. Now, would you advise young players out there to do those things?
A kid needs speed, quickness, and ability to have coordination, and through these drills that I do, particularly, it really helped my game, and I can only wish that everybody would try to do something with the ball, because what it basically does is give you great confidence in your overall ability. When you can do something a little bit different, so forth, it really helps you.
So what you've just seen has a definite purpose. Think. When you work at it, keep telling yourself, how can this help my game? So you can work on it hard, knowing that this will improve your game. Hey, what's going on here? Hold it. This is Calvin Murphy, the great guard for the Houston Rockets. Now, it's a bit unusual to see this greatness transferred from basketball into something like baton twirling. What are you trying to do to me? This is a basketball show.
Well, twirling goes along with basketball for me, as far as dexterity is concerned.
Is that right?
Yes.
Does it work with your fingers?
Yes, it's giving me great finger control with the baton, along with controlling the basketball with my fingers.
Now, Calvin Murphy, being one of the smallest, if not the smallest guard ever to be so great in the NBA, there are two sides to this. We've discussed this many times. The bigger guys get you, they take you in a pivot, they try to muscle you. You're strong, you're quick, they don't fool around. But there's two sides to it. You're little, you're close to the ground, they got to get you. And that's where that dexterity comes in.
No question about it. If you can hold this, and if we can just change for a second. First of all, because of my fingertip control, I feel that I have the advantage on the larger individual. He has to come down to 5'9" size if he wants the ball.
Yeah, like if I'm 6'4", so I got to come down here. That makes me off balance.
All right, now I have the advantage. I know what I'm going to do with the ball. I can control it. He's out of sync with his body. He cannot move the way I can because of my size.
That's right. I'm too tall, and I've got to bend down to your side.
Right, I'm already down here, so I have the advantage.
You see, what we're trying to say is, all you people out there, and you youngsters, 5'8", 5'9", 5'7", don't give excuses that you're too small. If you can work at it, pay the price, and do the job, always remember, you're close to the ground. The ball is on the floor here. You can keep bouncing that ball. He's got to come down to you. So remember that. All right, Calvin, let's see a few dexterity drills. Ridiculous. All right, now how does that relate if you're going to twirl the baton?
Well, I'm dribbling with my fingers here.
Watch this. He doesn't even have to watch anything. He's looking at the camera. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that control. This has played a part in that. I remember Calvin Murphy when he was young, and he always could work with that baton and work with that ball, and you kept up both.
Yes, and one helped the other.
And I want to congratulate you because you've had and you're still having a great career, and let this be a lesson. Don't use your size as an excuse. Pay the price, work hard, and if you've got it in you, you could be a great athlete and a great player. Thank you, Calvin. Fast break offense, synonymous with the Boston Celtics. We've used it for years and years. Why? Because it's the best offensive weapon there is. It's a way of life. It's a philosophy. All the time that we're in that ball game, anytime we intercept a pass, get a rebound, the first thing we do is look down the court, ready to take advantage of the defense. Now, to demonstrate this, we have here on the defense, who are going to start the fast break, there's Charlie Scott, there's JoJo White, there's Dave Cowens at center, Paul Silas at the forward, and John Havlicek at the other forward. Playing the part in the offense is Don Nelson. Don will take the shot. Charlie Scott will brush him, break down the court. The rebound will be coming off there. The first thing they'll do is get that ball and look down. All right, let's go. See the pass, the follow through, the shot. All the defensive men who turned into offense, starting the fast break, immediately went down the court. Why? Suppose Charlie Scott was not free. Suppose he was in trouble. One of them could be a trailer. But in any event, the point is, we use the long pass as the first part of the fast break. All right, the mechanics of this long pass, and it's often called the baseball pass, you've got to be certain that you don't curve the ball. After the ball released, your thumb must be down, your follow-through is up, your forearm is straight. Now watch John as he turns around to make the pass. His forearm is straight, he's got the seams over here at the ball, his head is up. When he releases the ball, watch the follow-through. All right, John. See the fingers? It's very, very important that he maintain that follow-through and notice the head, the position of the head, but most important, the fingers and this thumb down. All right, in your fast break offense, naturally you can't get that long baseball pass and have the guy open every time. So this is the way it usually occurs during the course of the game. Charlie Scott will take the shot. All right, let's go. Goes out to Paul Silas, out to the side to JoJo. Charlie takes the middle. Havlicek takes the outside lane, takes the shot. All right, here's a 2-on-1 situation because many times you throw the long baseball pass, you don't have the play. So you try to get a 2-on-1, which is the next best thing. Now watch Charlie Scott the way he's going to pass that ball. Very simple. John takes the layup. All right, next two. All right, watch JoJo White's move. It'll be a little bit different. Behind the back pass because Don Nelson playing the defense committed himself. Now watch this play. All right, he faked the pass and he took the layup himself. Well, watch JoJo, the same type of thing. Faked the pass, went up himself on the play. Well, you've just seen part of the fast break. I just can't give it all to you in one show. So let's watch the next show and get more on the fast break. Back, move back, come on. Again. All right, hold it. Now, we're going to talk about Julius Erving of the Philadelphia 76ers, known as Dr. J, guarded by Bob Dandridge of the Milwaukee Bucks, Pete Maravich, who's going to do the passing, of the New Orleans Jazz, and Brian Winters of the Milwaukee Bucks playing the defense. Now, I stopped you right there. You're playing a corner position. You're the ideal corner man. Quick, shoot, drive, so forth. What goes through your mind relative to what you're going to do? You get the ball where you want it. Now, what do you do?
Usually when I get it, I like to have three options so that I can either make a pass or, take my shot if the defense is off of me or put the ball on the floor. And if I have those three options, then I think, I have an advantage over the defensive player.
Now, Dr. J, when he's going to the hoop, he's going strong. All right, let's start it up. Give him the ball. Move around. Play him tough. All right. Watch it. Go ahead. He'll get your move. Goes into him. Go ahead. Drive. Drive on him now. All right. Now, what did he do then? He just maneuvered Bob Dandridge to where Bob did not know whether he's going to go right or left. All right, this time do the same thing and backdoor him. That's it. All right. On this play, I want you to watch a simple pick and roll, but what is it? It's the corner man, a guy that plays the corner. Now, we've shown you when he has a shot, he takes a shot. You know he can drive one bounce this way, one bounce this way, but he's got to be a passer. This is a two-way street. For you to get the ball playing the corner, you got to give it up, too. Now, watch what happens. Go ahead. There's the pass. Good play. Simple pick and roll on that play. Because remember, to get the ball in any ball game, the guards will like to give it to you, but every once in a while, they want it back. And he knows that. All right, now you fans out there and you players, remember, when you play a corner position, you don't go into the pivot too often. You can drive right, you can drive left, one bounce, whenever possible. Use your screens. Use your set shot. But be active. If he overplays him, he's going to be in a position for an offensive rebound. Now watch this. Fake the pass, backdoor him, but you take the shot, you get the rebound. Play him tough. Now you see he's got the inside position for a rebound. Merely by playing the corner position right. Beautiful job. Now that brings out a point that is bugging me. These defensive men are picking up fouls, which is totally unfair. Now, first, before we go into this, I want to introduce these fellows out there demonstrating. Paul Silas of the Boston Celtics, Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets on offense, along with Paul, Wesley Unseld, also from the Washington Bullets, Mike Reardon, also from the Bullets on offense, and Clem Haskins playing the defense. Now, do that again. Go ahead. All right. Did Wes Unseld hit that man hard enough to knock him down? What went through your mind, Mike? What was your purpose in making that pick?
Initially, I was trying to free my teammate, Elvin Hayes, here for a jump shot or a move to the hoop without the ball. But also, if I could get away with it, to draw a foul on Wes in setting that pick, to fake a foul, in other words. That was the second purpose.
Well, that's the point. Actually, he didn't hit you that hard where you had to fall down.
No.
No, that's the point. Now, in order to clarify this, I brought in one of the great officials of all time, the ex-dean of the NBA officials, Mendy Rudolph. Come here, Mendy. I want to get your opinion. Explain to Mike, what's the attitude of the officials on this thing?
Well, the first thing, Mike and Red and everybody else, is the distance of the screen. Wes, if you turn around, when you set a blind screen, you've got to give this man here at least one step. Now, Mike did that. But on the other hand, as soon as contact came, Mike went and did some Hollywood acting. And the best thing the officials can do in this case, Red, is to ignore the play and don't even call it.
Now, remember, coaches today in high school, college, and pro are teaching the players how to fall. This is unreal. They're teaching them how to fall. They teach the defense how to fall. In this case, he's on the offense. They're teaching him how to fall. All right, here's another example. Come on, Mike. Show him what I want to do. Now, watch Mike dribble. Elvin Hayes is going to set a pick. He changes his mind. He starts to drive. Now, what happened? Did he go into Clem Haskins, or did Clem Haskins block him? Mendy, what's your opinion? What happened?
Here again, it was a great acting job by Clem Haskins. Now, the contact between Mike and Clem was totally incidental, Red. And again, the officials on this play should ignore it totally to eliminate this kind of acting in our game. If they're smart again to stop it early in the ball game, call the blocking foul on this man right here, and he'll stop falling on the floor and picking up splinters on his backside.
Well, I happen to agree with you. I mean, I'm very, very much opposed to this type of basketball. All right, let's go into another one. Mike, take the ball. Clem, you're guarding Mike. Elvin is in deep. Mike is going to drive by Clem Haskins. Now watch Wes Unseld. This is very important. Watch this. Go ahead. All right. Now, on a play like that, Wes Unseld stood there and took the block. Now, Mendy, you saw that. How do you feel about that play?
Again, it depends upon where Mike is, and on that particular play, when Wes Unseld set up the block, Mike had left his feet, and on that particular play, this is an illegal block by Wes Unseld, and the foul should be called against Wes, giving Mike probably a three-point play.
Why?
We've got to stop this sort of play in the NBA.
Exactly.
You can ignore this foul if you care to, but certainly don't call the offensive foul.
This segment is not aimed at referees, believe me. It's aimed at coaches. It's aimed at players. What are we going to do about it? Let's clean this thing up. Let's not hurt the game. Watch his hands, position. Okay, hold it up. Let me introduce these players. Darrell Walker, the premier guard of the New York Knicks. Of course, you recognize Bernard King, the great scorer, great all-around player of the New York Knicks. You're supposed to be a small forward. What are you doing playing the pivot?
Well, as you know, in this league, there's no difference between the small forward and the big forward. The small forward is generally a lot quicker. The big forward is more powerful. That's about the only difference.
Therefore, you go into the pivot based a lot on who's guarding you.
That's exactly right. If I have a man like Darrell Walker guarding me, who's a guard, I would like to post up and try to shoot right over him. If I had a big man, I like to make him move a little bit laterally.
All right, now let's demonstrate that. Now, you guard him, and you try to stop the shot. Now, watch this closely. Now, you notice how he had his knees bent? You notice that? What's the reason for that?
The reason for keeping my knees bent in the pivot, I found, is you have to bend your legs to shoot the ball, quite naturally. So when I receive the ball, I want my legs bent, I turn, and I can go right up before the man can straighten up and jump.
All right, now, remember, when you're playing the forward position, don't let them tell you anything about power forward, small forward, or whatever. Now, if you're going to move around that pivot, how would you do that? You got a small man. Suppose you don't want to shoot over him. You fake him.
What I want to do is pay attention to where I'm at, the first and second marker. I want to post up on the second marker.
Watch that. That's the floor. He checks the floor. There you go. You got the ball. Now,
I got my legs bent.
Get him close. Okay.
I want to turn on him and go up.
Beautiful. All right, now, that reminds me of something. Speaking of shooting, he was watching Darrell Walker. We're going to show you a little experiment. See this dollar bill? I'm not going to give it to him. He's going to have to get it to get it. Let me see you catch that bill. Never. Never. It's impossible to do it. The only way you do it is by luck or by anticipation. Therefore, when a guy is shooting the ball, over here, Bernard King, you stick your hand up. All right, now he'll shoot that ball. He knows that he can shoot the ball before Darrell Walker can move over. It's just like catching the dollar bill. Now, when you're taking a guy like him and you're facing him up, what do you watch on him?
What you want to watch on him is, you know he's a quick player. So you don't want to put the ball on the floor because he's a very good defensive player. He can strip the ball from you. So you want to utilize your jumping ability, turn, keep your head up, and shoot over him. Pay no attention to his hand.
There's the answer right there. Pay no attention to his hand. Actually, he does pay attention, but it doesn't bother him. That's exactly what the point. It doesn't bother him. So remember, if you're going to play the forward position, forget about this big forward, little forward. Do what you have to do depending on the guy who's guarding you. Get the job done. Look at that hoop. Keep your head up, your knees bent, ready to go. That's the pick. One bounce. Beautiful. Hold it up. Hold it. We're going to talk about how to play forward. Now, people just think that a guy gets out there and plays forward. it's an art. To demonstrate this, you got one of the greats of all time, Dr. J, Julius Erving. Guarding him, we have Bobby Jones, one of the great defensive men that ever played the game. Moses Malone, the super center, and Clement Johnson, his backup, all from the 76ers. Now, let's demonstrate that play again, and we'll talk about it. Just on a pick and roll, he took one bounce. Now, Julius, you play the corner. Where do you like to get the ball?
I like to catch it within my shooting range, Red. Sometimes, well, most preferably between the foul line extended and the end line. So it's that 12 to 15-foot range where I can shoot the short jumper.
Well, what happens if the guy overplays you, like Bobby Jones could overplay you? How would you still get in that shooting range?
Well, if he's overplaying me, then I'm going to have to take him down to the baseline.
Take him down.
Either use a screen or use my body and then free myself.
Right.
So that I can catch the ball where I want to catch it rather than where he's allowing me to catch it.
All right, now let's do that. Let's show you overplaying Bobby. Now you use the screen on him. Watch this closely. Bobby's overplaying him. He comes back for position. That's his range. That's his range. Remember what he said. You young players out there, don't get too far out. Get around here where the shot isn't that tough. Demonstrate it again. Use the pick and roll this time. Watch it. Watch it. Pick and roll. There it is. Beautiful. Pick and roll. You've heard that expression. That's a perfect example. Let's do it again. Now you notice, go ahead, right there. Moses made the screen, bounce pass, simple basket. Now that is made by a corner man who has good control. Now Bobby Jones, a great defensive player. Bobby, you guarding him. This time, Bobby, try to help out on Moses. You feed Moses, throw it back out to him and take the shot. Go ahead. All right, give it to Moses. Back out. Shot. Beautiful. Now, we just showed you that a good corner man, or a great one, he takes the shot, he takes the bounce, he takes the pass. He's got to do a lot of things. Now, how do you decide which to do?
Well, I think you should, you know, practice so you're able to do all of them, and then you just have to use judgment. You got to read what the defense is doing. If you have a great defensive player like Bobby and a good shot blocker like Clement, then you want to try and, you know, challenge them, take the ball to them, make them commit themselves to you, and then pass off. If they don't commit, then you know you got the shot.
That's so true. That's so perfect. You couldn't want a better explanation. Now, there you have it, from one of the truly great ones of all time, how to play the corner position.
Earlier today, Bill Russell, working with Bob McAdoo, demonstrated the technique that made him the greatest shot blocker in the history of the game. Now, with the help of one of the game's most exciting little men, Bill will show how he learned to not only intimidate his own man, but to control the whole offensive flow of the opposition. We have a little guard here, Tiny Archibald, the great player from the Kansas City Kings. Tiny, take a layup. Now, you never played against Bill Russell, see? So we just want to give you an idea. Just take a layup. He's guarding the man. Watch what he does.
Now, what I got to do now is come in here. Now, jump.
That is what is called intimidation.
Now, I got to try to make him think I'm going to jump.
Intimidation.
Now, I'm ready to play this guy, and I'm ready to take this shot and try to steal the pass.
You see, there's more to blocking the shot than blocking the shot. A lot of Bill Russell's great effectiveness was because people were so scared that he was going to block their shot and they would look bad that they would miss the shot anyway.
If he comes a little more over that way, Tiny.
Oh, get over there.
Now, see, what I want to do is this, is that what makes him really tough, Tiny comes in, he comes in here, and you go here, and he dishes off.
All right.
Right?
Then what are you going to do?
First thing, I can put this hand out. Try to, you know, jump like this and put this hand out to try to see if we can get any luck. But what I want to do is here, is when he comes in, I want to eliminate the guy he's dishing off to.
Then what are you going to do?
Then I got to, first thing, I can put this hand out. Now I'm ready to block a shot right now. I'm ready to take
No matter who's going to shoot it?
No matter who takes it right now, I'm ready for it.
Within what area?
Anywhere in here. I'm eliminating, try to eliminate the pass here. So what I'm going to do is get an angle and watch here.
That's very good. Now, you see what happens here. Bill Russell knows that not only is he a great scorer and has great quickness and can go in for the layup, but he can fake the layup and pass off to Bill Russell's man. So as he said, he had this hand out to eliminate that, and still, you notice how nice and soft he blocks the shot? I want to do this again. Go ahead, do it fast, Heine. Do it faster. Now, hold it. Now, do you see that? Do you see Russell block that shot and come down with it? Remember, the secret of blocking a shot is to get possession of the ball. Bill Russell always realized when he was blocking shots that the defense relative to his man came first. The blocked shot was second. To sum it all up for you fans, don't overdo this shot blocking. Don't be a slammer, a slasher, and sacrifice all the other aspects of the defense just to block a shot. But remember, every time you do block a shot, please try to get the ball.
All right, hold up. Let me introduce these players. You have here Darrell Walker, the great guard of the New York Knicks, emphasizing the defense. And of course, the great scorer, Bernard King, also of the New York Knicks. We're going to talk about defense from a guard position primarily. Now, you get that ball, you take that position that you just had, you're going to the hoop. Paula, right there. Now watch this. Stay right down there. You see his hand right here where he can take a shot at the ball. His knees are bent. His head is right up here looking. Now, do you feel comfortable that way?
I'm very comfortable like that. Very comfortable.
Do you find that's the best way with 1 foot forward? Why?
I think so because sometimes you get caught like this. The guy could make a quick move and you don't know which way he's going to go. This way, when I'm like this, I'm really forced him the way I want him to go to the baseline.
He forced him the way he wants him to go, which means that you have studied this player. You're going to play a guy, whether it's Bernard King or Dennis Johnson or the Celtics or whoever, you think about that and you study it, right?
I study it. If I'm playing Bernard King, I know he likes to go to his left and get the shot off, so I'm going to try my best to make him go right.
Well, what made you concentrate so much during college and the pros on being a defensive player? You know the offensive men get all the money.
Well, I know that. I never was a great shooter or anything like that, like a lot of guards are. I could always score when I need to score. And so I concentrate on playing defense, and I like playing defense. And I got a lot of my points on transition by stealing the ball and getting layups.
Also, when you're playing defense, it does affect your shooting and so forth because you get tired, right? All right. Now, we talked about balance. Now, here's what could happen if he's off balance. Take the ball over there, Bernard. Now, he's going to guard him. Now, if his knees are not bent and he pulls up, watch what happens. He can't commit himself, right? You can't jump because he'll give you a change of pace. Take the ball again, start at him, and go right by him. Make believe you're going to shoot it. See? Balance. If he doesn't have that balance and he's leaning forward, he'll get killed. So what do you think about now? Your balance?
Always the balance. Who's coming at you? How they're handling the ball. Bernard King's coming at me. I know I can't block his shot, so when he's coming at me, I'm looking, I'm really concentrating. I'm not coming up. I'm hoping he's going to pull the ball up in front of me so I can come down.
What about playing a guy without the ball?
Well, most of the time.
Forget him. The average guy.
The average guy, I usually try to put my forearm on him and deny him the basketball if he's a good scorer.
Deny him the basketball. See, there are a lot of ways to play defense. You deny him the ball. You figure out what his great moves are. But above all, you've got to concentrate. You've got to have good balance. You've got to be self-sacrificing. And you've got to have determination to be a good defensive ball player. Did you see that rebound? That rebound was made by Bill Russell, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player that ever played the game. Russ, you're playing Bob McAdoo, who's facing the basket. He's a quick center, good offensive rebounder. He's going to be facing the basket. How would you play him now?
First of all, I want to make sure that they can't, when he's going, that they can't pass it to him. So I got to cut that off. Now, if we get into here, I'll take a blocking out position. Now,
the blocking out position.
Now, it's in here. I'm down low.
Now, watch on that blocking out position.
See, I'm
watch
down
how
low.
low he is. Watch his hands. He's got this man right here.
Now, I don't have it out here. I got it right here.
Whoa.
It's almost a natural position. Okay, I'm down low now, but so that he can't push me. If he goes over this way, I can also go right with him. You see? And if he goes the other way, same thing. I'm in
you
here.
See that balance? You see the knees bent? The knees are bent, aren't they, Russ? Good balance.
This gives me quickness and strength, so they can't push me out of the way. And the other thing is that I want to have is that if the ball comes off, that I can reach into here and get it. Or when I jump, so that when I jump, we're not both in here going after the ball, that I have this distance.
In other words, you have the extension forward rather than high.
That's why I wouldn't push him with my shoulders. So you see a lot of guys, they hold position like this. So when we jump, we're both up in here. Whereas if I hold position in here, when we jump, I'm in here.
And he can't get past you without fouling you.
Right.
All right, now, you explained something to me a while ago about the position of your hands in this position.
Okay.
Why are your hands in this position?
Well, now, suppose we're here, and I'm in a holding out position like this. And Bob makes a quick move and steps right across here to go, to fight for position. Now, which is a good move. If I got my hand here, this is as far as he's going.
You see that? See this hand here, how he's got him? Right in there. That's so important.
Now, I haven't moved the hand. I did not move the hand.
That's right. Now, what about your other hand?
Okay, I've stopped him now. My move is in here again. Now, if I'm holding him here, for example, now we're here, and the ball bounces, I can reach at it with this one. I can in here. The point I'm making is his position.
That's right. Now, here's the greatest rebounder that ever played the game. And you notice the science that we've discussed relative to his boxing out first and then covering all the territory. Now, I'm going to throw the ball up a couple of times. You go for the ball. Russ, you get the rebound. He won't hurt you. These young kids won't hurt you. No, he won't. All right, now, shot.
Okay, now the shot's taken.
There you go. You notice how Bill Russell has Bob McAdoo completely under control. Let's do it again. All right, this time, play the pivot. Put your back to him. All right, now swing on him. Now, when he gets that ball, you notice how he protected it. His elbows were out. He had complete protection of that ball. He has him completely under control. But the main thing is, when we discussed about rebounding, you can't win without the ball. The single most important thing is get the ball. Every time they take a shot, you say to yourself, they'll get one shot. We'll get the ball. Very good. Get it out. Very good. That was an excellent demonstration of defensive rebounding. Now, before we go into it, I'd like to introduce the guys we got out here. This is Akeem Olajuwon from Houston. Guarding him, Kevin McHale from the Boston Celtics. Robert Parrish, 00 from the Boston Celtics. Ralph Sampson from the Houston Rockets. Taking the shot, Phil Ford from the Rockets. And M.L. Carr from the Celtics. We're going to talk about rebounding. Rebounding is the second most important part of this game. Of course, the most important thing is shooting. That wins games. But without the ball, you can do nothing. We're going to demonstrate rebounding to you from the defensive angle. Now, let's do this again. Let's do it. Box them out. Now, watch this on the camera. Watch Kevin McHale box him out. Watch Robert Parrish have contact with Ralph Sampson and then get the ball. Go ahead. All right, box him out. There's the rebound. Out there, there's your break. Very good. Now, when Phil Ford came around and took that shot, Robert, what went through your mind?
First thing was box my man out.
Box his man out. He wanted to make sure that if he couldn't get it, Ralph Sampson couldn't get it. How about you, Kevin? What went through your mind?
Well, since the shot was taken on this side of the basket, the percentages are the rebounds and go towards Robert's side. So I was trying to keep my man out of the play by keeping a body on him and keeping him away from Robert.
And, of course, once your man got the ball, you broke. Now, remember, you see, what he just said is very, very important. He knew that 80% of the shots from that side go up to the other side. So his main thing was to brush him, box Hakeem out, get the rebound, and then got the outlet pass. All right, let's do it one more time. Come on. Watch this very closely. There's the rebound. There's the pass. That's it. Very good. Now, you notice one thing. When Robert Parrish got that ball, he tries not to bring it down to the floor because that enables all the little guards running around out there to scoot baseline and bother him and try to steal the ball. If you're big, get the rebound, keep it up here, get the outlet pass, and then go. Remember, in basketball, rebounding is the second most important thing. Without the rebounding, without the ball, you got nothing. Okay, that's where it's at. That's defensive rebounding. Work on it. Concentrate. Remember, the timing is all important. Work at it. Hold it up. Beautiful. Beautiful. What we're trying to do out there is demonstrate offensive rebounding. Offensive rebounding is the hardest single phase of basketball. You've got to work harder and tougher than any other position. Now, to demonstrate this, of course, Moses Malone, who in my opinion is the greatest offensive rebounder that ever played the game. Guarding him is Clement Johnson. Dr. J, don't know who he is. Bobby Jones, all from the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, what they did then was a simple pick and roll. Dr. J took the shot. Moses, by making the pick and going for the ball, had the inside track. Let's do it again, real quick, just the way we did it. Watch this very carefully. By setting the pick, look at the position he's in. Hold it. Beautiful. All right, now, Moses, when Dr. J has the ball, what goes through your mind?
Simply, I set the pick for him. Once he missed the shot, I just went to the boards.
Just go to the board and get the ball. Now, you did it by being unselfish and setting the pick, right? You set the pick. People don't understand that sometimes. They think the man that goes out and sets the pick is out of the play. That's not true. He's the guy that sets the pick and goes to the board. Now, suppose you're in the deep pivot by yourself, Clement Johnson guarding him, Bobby Jones guarding Dr. J. Now, you get the ball, and watch what happens. Clement Johnson guarding him. Once he leaves his feet, all you have to do is what? Throw it over him.
Go on and go to the boards.
And go to the boards. He's got the inside. Now, do that again, right there, just the two of you. Once he leaves his feet, all he has to do is throw it over his hands, whether he makes it or whether he misses it. If he makes it, fine. If he misses it, he's got the inside track. Now, if Dr. J has the ball here, without a pick, you're guarding him. How would you get around him?
Dr. J got the ball, and Clement guarded me like this. You know, get defense position and get the rebound. Be in position for the rebound.
Very good. Very good. You see, that's where the hard work comes in. Am I right?
Right.
It's hard work. You got to Moses Malone working on offensive rebounding, which in my opinion is the hardest single skill to master in the game of basketball. Okay, now there you have the greatest offensive rebounder of all time demonstrating how to do it. There you see the blocked shot. Robert Parrish of the Boston Celtics shooting the ball. Ralph Sampson, the great center from Houston, blocking the shot. Now, Ralph, in blocking that shot, what did you think about? He had the ball, he started to dribble, go up to the shot. What did you think about?
Well, he was driving to the basket, and all I wanted to do was get contact with the ball when he released it.
All right. He wanted to get contact with the ball. That is very, very important. You see, a lot of guys, including the great one we got standing there, Hakeem Olajuwon and Kevin McHale, sometimes they get so excited during a game, they smack the ball, and they hit it out of bounds. They gain nothing. The only little thing they gain is a little intimidation. But Ralph put it the best way. All he wanted to do was get contact with the ball. All right, now we're going to show you another phase of the block shot. Kevin, watch this carefully on the screen. All right, you see that? Same thing went through his mind. He saw Kevin in the air. He couldn't do anything anymore. Then he went in the air. See, he waited for Kevin. That's the most important thing. The defensive man, the guy who blocks the shot, must let the other guy commit himself first. All right, this time, just to prove a point, let him go by you. You switch and block the shot. All right, now, see what he did? He played the overall defense. He helped out and he blocked that shot. Actually, he hit it a little too hard. He knows that. But he just was doing that for demonstration. Very important. When you've got a guy that's always jumping in the air, blocking shots all over the place, here's what you can do. Watch it. Ralph Sampson committed himself. Kevin McHale knew he was going to do that and threw it over his head, knowing that Robert Parrish had the inside track for the follow-through. Remember, the block shot is new. It's only in the last 20 years or so that people really studied the art of blocking a shot. It's a great intimidator. It's a great thing, but it's greater if you block the shot and come down with the ball. Don't do it too much. Don't get carried away that every time a guy is going someplace, you're going to block a shot, because they'll do to you what we just demonstrated can be done with a great player like Sampson. Work on it.
The blocked shot. Is it luck? Is it good timing? Is it anticipation? Bill Russell, the man who not only popularized it, but had it down to an exact science. Bill Russell, the old Boston Celtics, now the coach of Seattle Supersonics. What is a shot blocker? What is a block shot?
Well, I call it action, because it's not a reaction. You can't, when you block a shot on a reaction, then you're lucky. In other words, it's just jumping ability. There's more to it than that. I was explaining to Bob a minute ago. So
Bob McAdoo of the Buffalo Braves.
Everybody knows him.
Yeah, I know him too.
No, what I mean is now, for a guy, example, a guy like him, if I just play him straight away, there's no way I'm going to stop him. Okay, so now going to his right, it's 2 or 3 points every time. It's a dunk shot, a layup, or 2 free throws. So what I would try to do with a guy like Bob, I'd overplay him. He's got the ball. I'd overplay him here. So now what I've done is I've taken away him going to the right. And I'm close enough so if he puts it on the floor, I can knock it loose. So I'm making him do it with his left hand. So that's the reason I'm so close to him here, is to make him go with his left hand, dribbling, so that slow him down a little bit. Now, if I let him go all the way to the hoop, he'll dunk it, though. So that means I got to stay ahead of him. And the idea is to slide here, and wait. Now, but what I did is I eliminated half his options by taking away his right. Now, the idea is when I go up to block the shot, I'm going to try to sweep it that way.
You don't slap it?
No. Now, see, now if I sweep it there, now I got an angle to go after it.
In other words, Bill Russell is trying to say that when he plays one man, man to man, and wants to shut him off and block his shot, he studies that man. It's not a matter of letting the man make his move and then blocking the shot. Actually, you're blocking his shot before he starts his play. Now, when he goes to the left over there, as you had him, and he came up for the shot, as soon as his feet left the ground, Bill Russell knows he's committed. Right. Then you yourself can leave your feet. All right, dribble right across the center and take a jump shot. Russell's going to play you. Let's see how he plays you relative to blocking the shot. Go ahead. All right. How'd you like to play basketball and have that character right in front of you with those long
now,
arms?
on that play, he's giving me a break. He's giving me a break, but on that play...
Do it quick for the old man.
Don't tell him that.
Do it quick.
No, what I'm trying to see what I do is keep my hand up.
You made him miss.
I fouled him.
No, don't
say that.
Don't ever admit that you fouled anybody. I can't buy that at all. Don't ever admit that.
Well, no, see what I'm
do it
trying to
again.
do
Come
is,
on.
now, for example, when he gives me a fake, I put my hands up, and I leave him up.
Yeah, but you still got your knees a little bit, right?
Now, say he gives me a fake. I keep my hands up. His tears shoot over my hands.
Oh, in other words, what Bill Russell was trying to say is, when his hands are up and he jumps, he does not bring his hands down to jump up a little higher. All he has to do is intimidate. Bill Russell, the greatest of them all. He dominated NBA centers for 13 years. Not only that, he intimidated the entire offensive flow of the game. Later today, at halftime of the second game, Bill Russell, along with Tiny Archibald and Bob McAdoo, will show you exactly how he did it.
Good afternoon, everyone. A little bit of a different approach with the Red Auerbach on Round Ball show this afternoon. Red, here we are in Madison Square Garden, the NIT semifinals, trying to find out exactly what you look for when you scout college talent. Come on in here and introduce your special guest.
We're very happy to. On my right is Eddie Donovan, the former great collegiate coach at St. Bonaventure, now the general manager, and a great one at that, of the New York Knickerbockers. Eddie, you're out here watching games. You've gone all over the country. What do you look for? Do you look for position, or do you look for best athlete? How do you go about it?
We look for the best player available at the time of the pick. And then if they're of equal talent, then we'll go to position. I think mistakes can be made where you might be in need of a center, but if you draft 5 centers that can't play, you're still back.
Eddie, what do you do when you go about 2,000 miles or 3,000 miles and you run into a team that uses a zone defense and they all stand around? What do? You must go crazy.
You get on the next plane and leave.
It really drives you. I know I made many a trip, and some of the key players that you go to see never showed up. On my left, I've got Tom Sanders, the present coach of the Boston Celtics, who also coached at Harvard for about 5 or 6 years. Now, Satch, this is kind of new to you. What are you looking for your ball club?
Okay, number one, Red, I frankly think that we've got to look at the positions as being very important. You know, many times you will try and read what a player is doing in college and try and project him into your system, what you think he can do for you. So, for example, a lot depends on your style of play. If you're a team like Phoenix and you're looking at a player, you have a player like Adams, of course, you can take a look at a Bailey. He can play in that system because the center very seldom goes underneath. It just depends on your style of play. But obviously, everybody would like to have that 7-3 man in the middle who does the whole job, no question.
Fred, on the floor right now, we have got Rutgers playing Texas. Let me start with all three of you on Texas, an unknown squad. You don't know the players, so how will you evaluate them?
All right, Eddie, let's start with you. Let's take Texas. Who, in your opinion, forgetting all the, write-ups you've seen on these players, who do you like?
Well, this is the first I've seen them, Red. And the little guard, number 11, he's got great range. It seems he has fine court sense. He was going down on the break. One time he filled the wing. One time he had the middle. He penetrated well. He pulled up and took the jumper.
The young man, Baxter, was about 225 pounds, though it seems like they have him listed here at 205 pounds. He's like a really strong player.
One of the things that I have noticed in the conversation and listening to you three is that there's nothing specific that you might look for in the course of a game. In other words, a football scout will show up with a stopwatch at practice, will time the 40-yard dash, the hang time on the punt, but a basketball scout, he sees a variety of things, and different things are important to different teams. Is that right?
That's right. And when you become interested in a player, the first thing you do is you contact the coach, and also, and Eddie will bear with me, and I know Satch is doing it too, you contact the rival coaches to find out what kind of kid this kid is. How does he play on the road? What is his attitude? Is he coachable? What kind of student is he? Is he a winner?
Satch, as a coach, would you prefer that a general manager do the drafting and listen to the scouts, or would you prefer that the coach be more involved in that?
No, frankly speaking, I'd rather certainly see the coach more involved. One of the things you have to look at...
Wait a minute. Who signed the checks? Oh, what, are you kidding me?
Okay, let's put it this way. Where the signing of the check comes in, I'd like to have a general manager doing it, all right?
Well, that's scouting here at Madison Square Garden. And don't forget, when you see a ball game, remember, you see it different than we see it. We're out to get the best players possible for the NBA.